Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show, Quantum Panel. Welcome to Lynn and Joe. Thanks for coming to the panel with me.
Thank you for having us,
Thank
Nathan.
you for having us, Nathan.
Okay, psychological operations, PSYOPs, military run, intelligence based run, what they do to control the people's public opinions. Now, you can look at biased media, that's not a PSYOP. That is in your face right there. It's right there. They control the narrative in the news. You don't get all the news. You don't get two sides of every story. You get one-sided stories. That's not a psyop. Psyop is people like here's one, Lou Elizondo. He was put in to disrupt ufology
To
with
play a part.
right, play a part, and he
Mhm.
did it well. Regardless of his own motivations, he was on their payroll. Now, I want to say welcome to the chat room. We got Aussie Tiger, Storm 2012, Woo Riders. I think that's it for right now, but I got other people watching. They're just not chatting. So, hmm,
Yeah, Storm 2012 is Frank.
right.
He
And
adjusted his name.
that works. So, PSYOPs, Lou Elizondo is my prime example because everyone in the field knows about him who's in ufology. He went to all the small shows. It was very targeted and it was very intentional. He went to all the small shows. He went to a couple of symposiums. He went to one in New Mexico, one in Albuquerque, basically over there on that side of the y'all side of the country, right? He went to Roswell and Vernal, Utah. So he went to a few of them and he went on all these little shows and basically was telling people to don't listen to them. Actually, you might want to like hurt them. And he was sending people out to dox people, which is a bad thing to do. Now, YouTube is not a government, right? YouTube is just a show platform. So they have their rules, but none of them are illegal. None of the things that people do are illegal until you start calling the cops on false alerts, right?
Right.
And that was done a few times. Hey, Renee, welcome back to the Quantum Panel. Thanks for coming. I started late earlier, and this one was I don't know, kind of on time, but yeah, that's what he had done. Now he's not the only one or the first. Going back a few, yeah, yeah, I'm talking about within ufology only, right?
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking way back to the 5th century.
Yeah,
Sun
I'm
Tzu,
not
Sun Tzu
Yeah.
wrote a book about it,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
The
I'm
Art of
talking
War.
the
right?
social media, right? I'm talking just social media this time. Psyops, social media, and what's going on now. And Lou Elizondo was one. Everyone in ufology knows about him, what he was doing, what he was preaching, that they're a threat, that UFOs are a threat, that we need to secure our airspace. Okay, first of all, we can't. I mean, their technology is not like we understand it. Okay, they want nuts and bolts. They don't understand that it's not nuts and bolts technology only. It's not something you can build in a lab. You can build part of it, but the rest of it is not that. Okay, it is not nuts and bolts. It is very. There is a psychic and spiritual component, and they don't have it. They just don't have it, and they don't understand what that component is because they refuse to acknowledge it. However, if you listen to some of the people that have come from Area 51, Bob Lazar, there is a mental component and he will talk about it. So let's see. Rue Riders saying Jaime Maussan had another. Jaime Maussan, so y'all know, is Mexico's ufologist. He's the premier. He's the front runner. He does all the UFO stuff in Mexico. And he's got shows. He's got TV shows. He's got a TV show of his own down there. Jaime Maussan had another display of his Peru mummies the other day. What's weird is Lou Elizondo and Gary Nolan backs the presentation. Yeah, they're all he's convenient. I believe Jaime Maussan is convenient for them to use.
Yes,
Now,
he's
huh?
not well known in the United States.
No, he isn't. However, he's on the right side of their narrative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gary Nolan. Okay. Gary Nolan is one of them doomsayer people who says exactly what it is. We don't know exactly what it is. It's not in our ken to know exactly what it is. We're not capable because our perception is so small. Our normal everyday perception is so small. We are just lucky enough here on the Quantum Show, you two and some of the people in here, right? Raven may show up, right? Raven has a link, I think. I think I sent her a link. I'm pretty sure I did. And we perceive these things. The time jumping, the spirits, the shadows in the corner, the people who aren't there, the voices, those are not normal for the majority of people. We all know this here, right? But
Right.
that's the awareness that we have that the majority of people do not have. And
Well, the
yeah,
biggest problem that those who have any enlightenment have is the projected agenda, if you will, of people like your Elizondo, Nora
mhm,
Nolan, others who have a specific directive to discredit, annoy,
disrupt.
scatter, disrupt, these sorts of people. And when that happens, there's confusion let out. What is happening in this country right now overall? There's a terrific amount of confusion about who's good, who's bad, who's enlightened, who isn't, who has first notion of what's going on, and who doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, you're looking at
And it extends to the political arena. We won't
oh
go
yeah.
into that, but it
No,
does.
not this show. I
No.
want Keith to come on. um, but it's like the Middle East and then Russia and uh, and then you have the propaganda. If you look at the mainstream news, any news channel, right, in the United States, Russia bad, Hamas bad,
Hmm.
and it's not so cut and dry. Okay, uh,
There are
I
people fighting people over things
yeah,
that maybe
that
should be or should not be.
right,
And you can't sort it out because there's too many factions too busy trying to confuse it.
right, and that is the public, the overt. Okay, now that's the overt. That's the word I was trying to think of. When it's in the public, it's overt. It's not a psyop. Now this all started.
Mm,
Well, I
Go
wouldn't
ahead.
bet on
yeah,
that.
no, I'm not. You have the PSYOPS operations giving the post-it note for the day to the mainstream media.
Okay, right.
This
Okay,
is how we want you to spin this.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
I saw this very thing going on gosh, I think it was MSN, where they kept repeating the same news article over and over and over. The
until it
very
became
same one.
truth, and then later on in the courts you find
All
it was
different
false.
factions. All different factions.
Hmm.
You know? And I mean, from the Hill to Washington Today or any of those public newspapers, all had it, all of them, the same damn article. And I say damned article because I was sick and tired of it after 3, let alone 2 dozen.
Mm-hmm.
No, and
Yeah,
I'm not exaggerating, 2 dozen.
Oh, I
yeah.
know.
Well,
There's.
what gets me is they actually took images of the newscasters and put them together, all repeating the same words.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about one or two. They were all repeating the same words.
Same
Mm-hmm.
buzzwords, all of them, huh?
There's a meme video going around where the broadcasters, all these different channels, are all saying the exact same words. And I went to one of my other groups, not not the quantum people, not the ufology people, not those guys, right? But I went to one of the toy groups, and one of them said, "Yeah, nobody reports the same stuff." And he literally read me the playbook rule about how to use propaganda, but it was from the perspective of the newscaster, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna see if I can find that.
And
Y'all are
this is
gonna
the
love
difference
that."
between people who read and people who actually just kind of scan the headline or don't even bother.
Yep,
You know,
I'm gonna
if
see if I can.
if
Who is it?
reading is even a thing anymore, they're listening to it quite often, but actual reading it, I wonder. And I looked at each of those articles, and they were exactly the same thing. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, whose agenda's up? Who's this about? Okay, keep it shoved in their faces, to make sure that person looks like a innocent party or a victimized person,
Right.
you
Tell
know,
people how to think.
or tell them how to think and how to vote and all the rest of it. And I'm so sorry, but I think for myself, thank you very much. And more
Well,
people need to be learning how.
that's just the thing, and they don't know how to open their inner channels to feel out the truth.
Hmm. And
And
Yeah.
that's just as much of it as it is any of the rest of it.
right,
Using your
and,
talents.
the rest of it is education, fact checking, and strategic communications. With look at all the communications. Don't settle on one point of view, because the truth is out there, but it's never on either extreme.
And
Right.
it and it's not going to be on the front page either, I assure you.
What were you saying, Nathan?
I was looking for this conversation I had with my buddy, and we were talking about that. We were talking about that. The repetition of articles or headlines, and it was over and over and over again.
And that's
And
straight out of Karl Marx.
Yes, it is.
yeah, just that's basic education, repetition.
You
That's how
know,
you learn how to do
Rote
stuff. You
learning, right?
repeat it. You
I
repeat
never
it over and
thought
over.
very much of the McCarthy era. I grew up during the McCarthy era, and I had parents that embraced the McCarthy era. And at this point in my life, I'm looking at that and saying, boy, am I glad I got to experience that. Now I know how to discern some of it.
Yeah, it takes a multifaceted approach to pull down a psyop, and sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes psyops are beneficial.
Yeah, because there are, you know, people who do dumb stuff, and some of them are beneficial, but not this one, not these. The ufology one, they didn't want.
What end? To
Well,
what end?
I think it backfired on them.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
It raised awareness, and more, and when it was figured out, more individuals became more vigilant and more skeptical about misleading information.
Not just that information, but the whole shooting match.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to find this. I'm going back to conversations from 2 years ago, and it's not in there. Okay. Anyway.
But the whole business of what is happening right now, I mean, just on a broad uh, spectrum, it isn't just UFOs. It can be everything from, gee, is the water dirty in Sunland Park?
Yeah.
To is it and dirty from a standpoint of is it
new
being
manufacturing.
and screwed up? That whole area just got a brand new renovation. So why is there a water problem?
Yeah.
Why?
And we need to teach the young critical thinking skills and
Right.
actually media literacy, because they will pick certain words to avoid you understanding exactly what they're saying.
Or
And
pick
while
words to buzzwords or kick words that cause you to give that that feeling of, oh my God, it's all going to end, or oh my God this, or oh my God that.
I know we're not going into political,
Right.
but I can think of a political campaign that was based on hope and change. Now, what did it mean?
Right.
Hope for what and change what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember what you're talking about.
I remember what you're talking about too.
And everybody
Yes.
applied their own agenda to it. Right
Yeah,
down,
I
right
wanted
down the line.
I wanted to see the end of the war.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
when I heard hope and change, well, oh, gee, we're going to get out of the war,
Yeah, that was
not get
one.
into more wars.
Hope and
Right.
change.
Yeah.
Maybe some easement on taxes, or even if there is taxes, are they going to be used more responsibly? That's what
Right.
we hoped for. But
Yeah. And Aussie is bringing up a good point. Something I haven't mentioned all night is hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button. You know you want to, because we're quantum here, and you're here because you are also quantum. Hit like and subscribe. Okay, I had to say that. Diane is watching the grandkid. She sent me a
we'll
message
keep it
on
quantum and keep the language.
yeah, keeping it quantum. Diane says she sent me a message, so I'm gonna go check that real quick. But okay, now the
Kelly sent
PSYOP.
a message.
Let me see here. I didn't get it. Diane, I did not get a message on Facebook Messenger from you, so I'll have to.
It says message from Kelly. Kelly sent you a message on Messenger.
Okay. Well, I encourage everybody to do
Didn't
fact
get it.
checking, not through one or two reliable sources,
Not
but
necessarily Snopes.
yeah, but many reliable
Didn't get it.
sources, and it'll help combat misinformation. Now, these are just tools that can help you, and don't accept them without a dose of salt too.
Yeah.
Right. And oh, there is now there's a demographic that they're targeting right now, and that is the relevant people, the 18 to 35-year-olds the relevant people. Oh my God.
How did they get to be relevant?
They are not. It's an illusion, just like all of it. It's
Yeah.
more propaganda, and they think
like
that.
the rest of us don't matter.
Yep, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep. Exactly. They're the major. Apparently,
subtle. That's a
they're
subtle.
they're apparently the majority of the workforce, the majority of the people who have their cars registered, etc. The majority of the money, right? So they try to say those are the relevant people. Well, I don't see the relevant people doing much but making TikTok videos, and that's a big part of the psyop with Shannon Blake and Warhamster. And
One little problem with that analogy.
go ahead.
The 18 to 35-year-olds have the biggest amount of debt due to their college educations
Mm-hmm.
or not having college. That can also cost them a lot. But
Right.
the ones who have money, are the 50 plus individuals in this country.
Right.
Because
And
we have
those
saved,
are
we have had jobs, we have workshops.
right. The 50 plus. Now it's not the have money part. It's who can be swayed. 50 plus, we
There you go.
are, yeah, 50 plus, we are settling. We're like finding a groove that works for us. We're not trying new things, right? We're not the ones, when we find something, we stick to it. I've driven the same car for 10 years. I'm in the 10-year club, by the way. Yeah, heck yeah. I'm not gonna,
We're close to it.
yeah, right. I have seen people in the past 5 years go a car a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not going to play that game. I'm not going to car hop. I'm not going to be, I am not going to be moving because I get bored. If something gets uncomfortable, you know what? I have the wherewithal to change that part and make it comfortable or get used to it or adjust my surroundings, not be beholden to the change. And I have no power over it. I have power over it. And they don't think they do, but they do if they only realized they're the ones paying the bill,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We have
They're the
realized that.
ones that's footing 30% or better interest.
Right, right.
From a recession-driven
Or
economy right now.
right, they're the ones they call them the movers and the shakers. Well, they're moving and shaking because they're not allowed to sit still. That is like they call them that the mover. They can't sit still. They're not allowed to sit still. If they sit still, they think they're going to miss something, and they might miss something. But is it worth going crazy over or staying hectic all the time? I don't think so.
But
A
they
See,
lot
do
of them,
miss something. They
go ahead.
do.
a lot of them are collaborating with government agencies, civil social organizations, news media, academia, technical companies to increase and enhance the efforts of PSYOPs. And it's
Yes.
only going by us pooling our resources, our knowledge, our expertise that we can. Ants, the movie Ants and the Grasshoppers. I forget what it was.
Bugs
But
life.
Bugs.
Bugs
Bugs
life.
Life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to stand up.
Yeah.
Because
Good.
go ahead.
I agree. It's a bug's life. And we're the ones paying the bills. We're the ones with the power. Okay. Now,
We don't see electric company at our place shutting it down, or the water, or repoing a car, because we know how to manage our finances.
right. And
We
we
know
don't get
how
in.
to think.
Right. We don't get in over our heads.
Hmm.
I don't plan very far ahead. I plan about a week or two and make it seems to work so far until
Okay.
I come until it comes
You're
to
in,
the
you're in your early or late 40s,
Yep.
and you're going to come to the knowledge and realization of the longer game because
Yeah.
you've survived. You've survived well.
Yeah,
You
a
know,
little planning doesn't hurt, Nathan.
no,
I've
We've
already done some planning, right?
uh,
Not I've got oh god, I can't stand thinking
Lynn
about this stuff.
Lynn
Go ahead.
Ann Lynn Ann has been in circle, and she's she knows what I've stated before in circle. We we're in interesting times right now, but it's about ready to really get sped up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
going to get
Mhm.
weird.
gonna get weird.
Yep.
Hmm?
It's
I mean,
about
they're
to get
trying to make
weird, people.
Not in a weird, good way. No,
right.
I was going to point out too, with all this dashing around and got to do this and got to be there and all of this, I'm going to miss something. You did miss something very, very important. Going within and finding out who the hell you are.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
if you don't know that, you know nothing. You have got to find out who you are, how you operate, what you believe, and what your tenets of faith are. Not what the church tells you, not what your coven tells you, not what synagogue says, what you believe.
And
Because
not
without that, you're not going to make it.
yeah, and not your government either.
Yeah.
Because the government says you're stupid. You need our help. You know what? We've been helping ourselves. And us here at the Quantum Show, and I know people in the chat. I'm looking at the chat. Everybody here in the chat has managed to um
They went
eke
within and
our
they found
ways.
out who they are.
Yeah, we've all managed to eke our ways into what we are doing, and we're getting even better from that, right? We're even doing better with that. Um,
Raven McMinn. Stick that up because that's good.
yeah, that is a good one.
Hunter S. Thompson famously said, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. Boy, do we might seem mild. Most of our tenants are the passive, the go with the flow, but not always.
No, not always. Uh, and when it gets weird, y'all,
It
we're
gets
good at
really strange.
we're really good at dealing with it, right?
Mhm.
Like if we're really good at, I mean, I don't mean here on a show, on a YouTube show. I mean in life. When shit gets weird, we handle it.
Because
We
we
know how to.
are the weird.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, huh?
That's who we are.
I have been in the weirdest of situations where things are working against me, and I
Mhm.
make it work. Even being in debt, I make it work. You know what you do? You know what? Here's a practical application of oh my god, how can I do this? You know what? You can sell your own debt. You can. You
Mhm.
can sell your own debt, and you basically are going to another debtor, and you say, "Hey, I owe this much over here. Do you want to buy that debt from them, and I'll pay you instead?" They'll do it. That's their job,
Yeah, they do.
and
At a
I mean,
lower interest rate and a lower payment.
yeah, and they'll. It's it's
But if you
crazy.
don't talk to your parents or some other elder that you respect, you're not going to find out about this stuff because it's a very well kept secret.
Yeah, they don't want people to know they can manage their money, even if the money is a negative number.
Hmm.
That stuff is actually worth something to somebody. So, I'm not talking about recurring bills like the water and the lights and a phone bill, right? That you're up to date on. I'm talking about like the $10,000 in debt, the $50,000 in debt.
Yep.
Well, there are a lot of companies that want to take that on
Hmm.
to make you pay them, and it's you can
And we're
actually
not, and we're not talking about terrific amount of collateral in most cases.
I'm not even talking about a loan. I'm talking about pick your debt collector. You
Yeah.
can do that, and they will work with you because you brought them a golden egg. You know that they get to.
Brought the money.
Yeah, you're
Money
bringing the
talk.
money. I will pay y'all back instead of them because, well, they're being jerks to me, and I'm coming to you. Why should we do it? Don't you want to collect on a debt? Get paid to collect on a debt? Well, yeah, actually, I do want to get paid to collect on a debt. So there's some crazy stuff you can do with money these
Oh
days,
yeah.
and that's some practical
That's
applications.
just the basics.
Yeah, that's just like not even the weird stuff. You know, it's
No,
weird because it's secret, but it's not even the weird stuff.
it's
Talking
not
about
even secret. It's just not put out there. It's
right.
not prime news. And
Oh,
shouldn't it be?
uh, it is like you said. It is quashed. Nobody wants anybody talking about
No,
that. Well, you heard
no.
it here on the Quantum Show
Really.
of all places on the internet you went. You heard it here on the Quantum Show. You can sell your own debt and be basically in control of your debtor. Who
You can
knew?
become your own sovereign citizen too.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah,
that's
you can.
there is a path for that,
I'll
and
tell you what though, that's awful expensive in a couple of ways.
yeah,
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 but once it's done, police car pulls you over and says, you're speeding." You pull out your passport, you hand it to the officer and say, "I have a diplomatic immunity."
Yeah,
right. Well, you got to get to that point.
Right.
It takes a lot to get to that point,
it
and
does. It's something like what now, Joe? $250,000 to do something like that?
You have to pay your portion of the national debt. As Biden keeps adding on to the national debt, your portion keeps going up.
Mhm. Now,
Uh,
why do you think
along
that
with
is?
along with Trump's portion that he added, and
Clinton and Bush
Clinton,
and
Bush,
Obama,
Obama and
Cleveland, Reagan. Let's just go all the way back, right?
oh yeah, hell yeah, Carter. Don't leave Carter
yes,
out.
yeah, you should have done it back when Kennedy was president.
Yeah, seriously, Kennedy
But
was ready to put a gold standard back in place, and they killed him for it.
well,
Well,
they killed him
Mm.
for a variety of reasons.
Oh yeah.
He was about to go with a bunch of projects, right, including opening up the UFO file and teaming up with Russia, which was a bad move on his part. Nobody wants that. Russia bad,
Well,
right? Right, big brother. Oh, by the way, let
well,
me take this opportunity to say, all of us top secret and above people, to your snipers, say happy birthday. Don't miss. Don't
you
miss.
know, they don't have to. They just
get
have to
the
wait a
job
few more
done
years
right.
on me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gone anyhow. So,
Well,
Yeah.
but just like Kennedy, they wasted the bullet because his Gray's what was
Graves' disease.
disease, right?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they wanted
He
him
would
out of.
have been gone very soon. Now they're
Yeah.
trying to spin it like they did him a favor. And do anybody else one.
Yeah. Yeah. That he was about to open up the UFO file and team up with Russia on it.
Mhm.
Team up with Russia. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And yet we
Okay,
left
I'm not
that
gonna get.
cold
I'm
and we
I'm
left
back.
that Cold War going on for another 20 years.
Yeah, it would still be going on, but I ain't gonna say that. I ain't going there.
I
And
don't
you know
mind
what?
if they shoot
Um,
me, they shoot me.
you go ahead. I'm not. I don't want to take. I just don't want to take the topic there because we're talking about social media psyops and all these people who are allowed to be there because they're doing the government a favor. They're distracting people.
Well,
And
Well,
and there you go. They're giving a favor to get a favor, but they haven't paid their favor yet.
right.
right.
And besides that, you also have to look at the challenges of the group that you're talking to. Um, People who are sensitive or empathic are more susceptible to emotional manipulation tactics used by PSYOPs campaign.
Oh yeah.
We often, as gifted individuals, become overwhelmed. Those who have heightened sensitivity and awareness could feel the influx of all this information, and it can lead them to emotional and physical stagnation because of the high level of content of the PSYOPS information. And it
Yeah.
also creates ethical dilemmas, which is what they're purposely doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Empathic individuals may struggle from ethical dilemmas from the uh, from both extremes of extremely leading and harmful information, especially if they emphasize they especially if the government emphasizes uh, the emotional as targets of the psyops.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
Whether it's parading animal abuse on Facebook, or flooding a person's account with friend requests from people that are absolutely scam artists, you know, or flooding a Facebook account that is like this program, is trying to do right, and so here we'll help you with that. Yeah, you don't need it. You know, I counted before I shut my account down on Facebook. I counted over 200 offers from men to be my sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know, how despicable. Seriously despicable. To prey on, and some women bought into that. I know a couple of them. It's
I get offers every
one
day.
lost everything, and the other one said, "What do you think about this to me?" And I said, "Let me look into it." And
Yeah.
Storm looked into it. And you know how thorough he can be. And the picture that he had given her was of a sergeant that had been killed during an operation in Afghanistan. His unit overrun, and they stole their identities. Despicable.
Nathan, I'm sorry about the overreaction there.
It's okay. That's fine.
Are we overreacting, or are we acting appropriately?
I don't
Because
know.
other people hit us with, "Oh, you're just overreacting to this stuff." I'm going to tell you what, 30, 40 years ago, this would have been the reaction. Absolutely the reaction.
Yeah, there's a movie out. There's some guy pounding a table, saying, he's had enough.
Hmm.
But for gifted and emphatic individuals, it's essential to harness our unique abilities and take steps to protect ourselves and protect those around us from manipulation and emotional overload, and which is what they're doing to us. This disease is going to get you,
Or that
uh,
is another one.
another disease out there, or the bird flu is coming again, or
Yeah.
and you're not going to
Okay.
get any eggs. This is all coming together. It's
Fear
time
mongering.
to set boundaries, practice
Yeah.
self-care, seek support from like-minded individuals and professionals, and especially professionals in the field of psyops. Then there are those that are professionals that should be out here going, hold it. We are a free country, and I want to keep our freedom. In addition, We need to start leveraging our insights and strengths to educate others about the PSYOPs and to promote crystal critical thinking as a powerful contribution to defending against the manipulation tactics that are constantly in our digital and media landscapes.
Hell yeah, Joe. You go, guy. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're not overreacting. This should be the reaction. You know?
Okay. I can't click that. That is the Hey Lujan, and I believe now back to the specific social media one, right? Tim, if you could put that in the private, can you put that in the private chat on the right side? Is there a private chat link for you? Send me that and I will bring it up. Or I'll just, you know what, I can just look it up. But let me, yeah. There's a few of them now. War Hamster is one, right?
Mm.
And let me go ahead and show what I just brought up. Now, this is a picture. Now, these are two separate people. This particular picture, now that's Lujan, Sergeant Lujan in the military garb, and that is, what did I say her name was? Blake, Shannon Blake. Okay, he's gonna Facebook it to me. That's Shane. Now, these are two separate people. However, what look at it. I love psyops, right? Can you see through the psyops chat, or do you still that fake hippie went viral by accident? First of all, not the same person, okay? But however, she fits the profile. Young, super pretty, blonde, heavily put out or heavily not heavily, but strong features in her face, right? Both of them.
Strong features are drawn in very well.
Right.
Yeah,
Strong
she does
features.
good makeup job.
Right, both of them. Now, I'll look up that Hey Lujan thing right now, right? And yeah, that's what I wanted to. This is one that really. Now, this is why these people are psyops. These people are in part of the psyops. They are not doing it themselves. They're being maneuvered into position to get a certain demographic. Okay, the hippie chick is the one for the star seeds. They're both for the star seeds, but they're in two different areas of life, right? But they still fit young, blonde, could be considered super pretty.
Blue eyes.
Right.
Don't
very
forget
pretty.
that. The white demographic.
Right. The very pretty. Yeah. Okay. But
hotter than a firecracker.
Right. Very super pretty, blonde. Okay. And Tim is saying they have complete operations support.
I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Do they realize that that's what I don't think they realize that's what they're doing. They're just, okay, Lujan, I don't think
they may be giving a certain amount of money for the job. It's a job.
Oh, wait. Let me, okay. I'm going to bring this. I'm going to go find Hey Lujan.
Say this script will hand over this amount of money and support your record sales.
Well, that would be
whatever.
Shayna Blake. She's up with a new post right now. There are so many fake Hey Lujans. Okay.
Well, and then you get others who know how to heist voices, heist profile.
They can do it in 5 words now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. This is, yep. Lujan, That is not. I don't know if that's the same Lujan, but this is a different Lujan. I know what Tim is talking about now. I recognize this person also. So let me go ahead and bring this up and stop sharing, and I will share a different one. She is what he says, the waifu. Now that is like a pinup girl, someone
Oh,
to lust
okay.
after, right?
Mm-hmm.
This person, this person, this person. This is Sergeant Lujan. She got apparently promoted. She wasn't a sergeant the whole time. And there are some racy pictures on here, but she is, ugh, she is,
If
you know,
she's Army and she's putting out racy pictures, why hasn't she been court-martialed? Because anybody ahead of that was.
they want this out there. They want this. She is maneuvered into doing this. I doubt she even knows she's putting what she, how she is being allowed to do this. Because look at these pictures, okay? This is on Instagram, right?
Well, it's exploitation. That's one thing. I mean, if she doesn't know she's being exploited,
Right.
even if
But
she does know if she's being ordered to do it, then she's
yeah,
being ordered.
yeah. I don't think she's being ordered to do this stuff, right? Now there's much more. Look at the most. Now this is the most recent ones, right? Top is the most recent ones, and we have seen a couple of these already. Yeah, apparently she is a part of a psyop. I doubt she. This is not a military picture, okay? And yet it is. Okay,
Well, maybe it's
hair.
pasted together. You know how that works.
Well, she could have taken her stuff off duty, but first, hair. You do not wear your hair like that in the field. No
Mm-mm.
women wear their hair like that in the field, and they're definitely not taking selfies like that, okay? This no, this hell, this almost looks like it's fake. Yeah, they're oh man. Oh,
Yeah,
the
that looks like
comments.
AI.
It does look like AI.
Yeah, a lot of it does.
Yeah, look at these, right? First,
Some of
oh,
the poses be very easy to copy paste.
yeah, or just tell AI army girl with long brown hair doing this, blah 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 blah, and
Yeah.
do that. Okay, now this looks like a real picture. No, never mind. It's a video. I'm not playing any videos on here. I will have to leave a link to Hey Lujan on the description. I'm going to do that now and just get the stuff ready. Right?
Hello.
You're not being called away yet, right?
No, it's the big dog.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything I can modify for you today?
You need anything destroyed?
If there is, she's your dog.
Okay. So these are y'all can still see the pictures, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hair. No one in the military on duty wears their hair like that.
Mm.
It is against army regulations, right? You could pull it down for a minute, I guess, for a picture or 100 pictures. So, see, these are not. This is Tim's right. She's part of the psyop. She's to get people motivated to do whatever, right? Let's
To join the army.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Jackson. This looks like a training pic. This looks like basic training. That is how you wear your hair in the military.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you wear it. This is the uniform you wear. And you don't no, this is totally off duty.
How come her hair changed colors or didn't?
Yeah, funny thing that, huh?
Yeah, it's whatever you're gonna do, I guess. I could change my hair color if I run a filter. And now this looks like an actual military picture. She's wearing the hair correctly. She's wearing
Army
the uniform.
specialist.
Yep, she's a specialist in this picture. So she got promoted after this. She's now an NCO. And all right, Not a real picture. See the hair. That is your day giveaway. This is a glamour shot or something,
Mhm.
right? And then, okay, totally off duty. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, it says up here what I wore for my activities today: Saturday knife bite grocery shopping, which is just when was this posted? This was 2 years ago. Okay, now let's scroll back up to the top. See what's going on now, right? Okay, again, hair, no hair, but she does look like she's off duty and on post. Can y'all see the animation?
Yeah, the
Yes.
big problem that she has that
Psyopspherics.
Yeah,
yeah, I actually can see, especially if she's in the field. There's a great big one right there. You don't say where you're at. You don't show where you're at.
right. That looked
Not
like
ever.
Garrison though. Right, that looked like Garrison though. And here's another one that it's probably AI. This might be an AI one. Let's see. No.
Well, they got the shadow right.
Yeah. This looks like it probably is an AI generated picture because let me tell you, the uniforms do not fit like that.
Mm-mm.
I don't care what figure you got, they do not fit like that.
Mm-mm. No, under a proper uniform, you can't tell if you're looking at a guy or girl unless
Yep,
she's wearing makeup.
exactly.
A lot
Yeah,
of them
there's
choose not to.
here's an animation. This is not on a military base. This is her caption is the haters said I wouldn't survive trench warfare, so I made my own. The haters are valid. I don't know what NGL though means. And it's talking about a video she had on YouTube last year. Okay. And yeah, million, 100,000 stubs. She is part. This is definitely some psyop. Look, definitely psyop stuff. Okay. Apparently she's a shooter, and this is what shooters do on their off time. I love the tinfoil hat though. I have to props to that. Props to that. Why are the shoes blurred out? I don't understand. Her shoes are blurred out. Tim, why are the shoes blurred out? Is it shoes or toes? Because let's see. Do I see?
It's
I
a
see her
toe.
shoes here.
Maybe it's her toes. Maybe she's not a person at all. Maybe she's a robot.
Maybe they
She's got
couldn't.
6 toes.
Yeah, six toes on one foot, 12 on the other.
12.
Well, I'm not thinking that way so much, but
Okay,
I
there's
was watching a robot YouTube not too long ago where the manufacturer hadn't really bothered with individual toes, which is why that thought came to me.
Hmm.
It's
Hey,
concept.
Raven, why don't you join us?
Yeah, Raven, you got a link in your inbox.
Hi,
You can come on
Raven.
in. Okay, NGL means not gonna lie. Now I know. Thank you, Tim. Uh, she wouldn't be allowed to do that if she wasn't serving a purpose.
Hmm.
Not at all, right?
That's all
Not at all.
directed. Every bit of
Especially,
it's directed.
well, I don't. Well, directed, sure, right? Okay, yeah. She's talking about the e-girl foot reveals are okay. It's foot fetish stuff. I had a feeling it was that, but I didn't want to say anything because I don't know. I don't do that kind of stuff. Okay, and then I like to say AI did it, but nerds probably it's more likely nerd stuff.
You know
Nerds.
what?
Hmm.
Storm's right about that.
Oh yeah,
AI makes its mistakes.
I love watching the fingers when I tell go to the text to picture generators and okay, yeah. heavily touched up, but not AI generated. They do a good job of making it making it look like, because that's what they do. I go to the text to picture generators and I say a selfie of blah blah blah, right? But it's a selfie, so you got the phone like this, and it shows like a picture over here being taken of, and you see like all these fingers all the way around the phone, and like two thumbs. It's so cool. They can't do fingers very well.
Neither can I.
So yeah, Lujan is one. Now that's specifically for the military and social media. Shane and Blake, it has been maneuvered in. Her parents worked at Lockheed Martin. Work at Lockheed Martin. Okay, major defense contractor. They would not let her do that if they weren't serving a purpose. Lockheed Martin is one of the black ops companies, right? If something happens in association with Lockheed Martin, they know about it. They sanctioned it or put it or control it. Her included. She wouldn't be allowed to do that. And I know somebody, and this is a local person, not a Lockheed Martin person, but this is like more of a local. Well, they're horse people, right? Okay.
Well, how about this, Nathan?
Hmm.
I worked for a company that picked up Lockheed Martin. It has for years, since at least World War II. And you're not saying anything that isn't right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Raven will be here after she brews some coffee, which it's been an hour and me and Amy need to recharge. So there we go.
Oh, good.
Shout
We
out.
can do another one there, Joe. Go for it.
That was a good one,
I'm
Joe.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
Don't be
Oh,
sorry.
no, you don't. You don't get to be sorry about that. You spoke your mind, spoke your heart. Don't be sorry for that. Not ever.
Okay, don't mind my dirty pants. Watch for ghosts. I gotta get some coffee.
You got dirty pants.
Hey, change
Oh,
those pants every once in a while, would you?
not in
Along
front
with
of the
the
camera.
along with the oil in your hat.
He'll go back and look at this and say, I'm gonna fire those two.
No, it's me that said it. So you're defending them.
I'm here chortling saying, yeah, do it. I'm just keeping you going.
Well, we've got to realize that we do have, as gifted individuals, we possess a deeper understanding of the underlying tactics.
Yeah.
We've seen them. You can read them in history. The things that the PSYOPs are doing, yeah, okay. Now they've got a microwave that they can point at a building and cause people to get sick. But empathy is actually a shield if you use it right.
Yeah.
You can use your ability to understand the connection with others and what PSYOP is doing with them, and potentially mitigate the impact and of the manipulative messages, and
Those
get very
abilities are far bigger than people realize.
yeah. You can be supportive, and I guess Nathan's got me on here for the counter narrative efforts. Okay.
But yeah, I'm a functioning empath. You're well aware of it, and it is not kept to the bones of where I happen to be. If I tune in on a sister, I can feel that sister, what's going on with her.
Well, tell him about trying to find me.
The first time I met you?
Yep.
Oh, that was fun. Joseph didn't know anything about me, nothing at all, really. And we wanted to meet. We were talking about joining his group, and Storm and I arranged to meet him at a restaurant. We got there, and this restaurant was overloaded. It was a McDonald's. It was overloaded with people that were attending a event and a sale at the greenhouse next door. Doesn't exist anymore. But they were there doing that, and the place was a madhouse. People milling around, people.
Good thing you had a picture of me.
I didn't have a picture of you, if you recall.
Oh, well, good thing I told you what I was wearing.
You didn't.
Oh.
Didn't tell me anything about you. Not one bloody thing about you. And Storm and I walked in, and Storm goes, "Holy shit, how in the hell are we supposed to find him?" I said, "Shush, let me look for him." He goes, "You're not moving." I said, "I don't need to, you know that." And looked around for him in my energy, and searched for his energy.
Which wasn't out there.
And all over the place, there's all this energy except one little dark place in a corner. And I said, "You rascal."
I had fun.
And I walked around the corner. I said, "Hi, Joe." Walked in. I sat down. I didn't introduce myself. I sat down at his table. Didn't give him a chance to say anything. And he's like, "Oh, shucks, here we go." You can add anything you want to that, Joe.
Oh, I don't know. That was basically it. I just, took all my energy in and said, they're not going to find me. I'll finish my soda and leave.
But that goes to prove some of the other things we've been saying. The energy of like-minded people, whether they're people that belong to your tribe, so to speak, you will find them if you look for them. Now, if you don't look for them, hey, if you don't get out in public and make yourself available, no, you won't find people. But if you get out there and say, "Hey, I'm here, universe. I'm lonesome for my own kind. Here we are."
Okay.
And you'll find them. You'll see them. Right, Joe?
Right. Okay. Well, no, we got Nathan back, so we can now be a little more mature, I guess.
Local
I don't know what
psyops
happened.
want to chat with you now. No thanks.
Well, tell the local PSYOPS people you like and subscribe. I'll send you a link, okay?
I'm
You
sorry.
can come on the show.
I gotta wash my hair, and tomorrow don't look good either.
Okie doke. I should have made a whole pot of coffee. I'm running on instant. The good Mexican instant, not the cheap stuff. The good Mexican
The
stuff.
stuff will grow hair on your chest.
This stuff is awesome. The Grandoyo or something. Like it's Grand Gold.
I'm planning on going over to Las Palomas.
Huh?
I'm planning on going to Las Palomas next week.
Cool. Have fun.
Why?
Watch for PSYOPs.
Why? There's a wonderful Mexican restaurant over there who sells U.S. grade A beef, Y1, on a platter.
Ooh. That sounds yummy.
And it's cheap.
Cool.
Oh, that's right up our alley, isn't it, Joe?
I can't even get nobody to make a gordita around here. Man, all these Mexican places, nobody wants to make gorditas for the gringos.
It's called a hamburger. Get over it. You, you just use a corn. You use corn instead of wheat flour, and you got a you got a gordita. You know, that is a psyop of the Mexican people. Almost everything. Take
Yeah.
the ingredients for a hamburger. You roll it up in a flatbread, and you call it a burrito.
The
You
little
take
burro.
Yeah, the little burro. You take it and put it in a corn tortilla, and you fry the tortilla, and you put the same stuff for your hamburger in the corn tortilla. And it's a
You eat
hamburger,
it.
okay?
Yeah, I eat it.
That is a taco. Taco.
A taco.
We love
It's a
tacos.
hamburger with another look to it.
Frank, come here a minute. Now, we were going to explain to you how to say taco. Just a minute. You're going to say taco.
Hamburger.
Yes, there is an absolutely appropriate way to say it. Okay? It's taco grande.
Oh no, Taco Bell.
Taco grande.
Or as otherwise
That's the most
known as
obtuse
Taco
thing you
Hell.
ever heard. That is great. Taco Cabana.
We're off the subject now.
Boy, are we?
I mean,
You're in the food section there, Nathan.
Oh yeah, it's the food section. I must be hungry again because it's happening. We must all be hungry again. But yeah, the psyops and social media, they are very targeted. That Shannon Blake, she is targeting the star seeds that are not in the military. And that Sergeant Lujan, I don't know what's up with her. That other picture of Lujan with of a person named Lujan, the blonde hair, blue eye girl. I don't know who she is, right? She comes from somewhere else, but that picture was floated around on Facebook, and it is part of a psyop. Look over here.
Lujan up there, but down here it's Luhan.
Yeah, Lujan Luhan. And
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
anything.
they're targeting. They're not just targeting the white folk. They're targeting Hispanics, and I shouldn't wonder that they'll come along with a different race from there, whether it's Asian or black.
Yeah. Oh, let me go ahead and say something about cultural appropriation. Okay. First of all, it doesn't exist. It is something to complain about. Cultural appropriation goes against the actual, definition of culture. You're not stealing culture.
You can't.
It's their cult. It's a culture of a group. That's what the whole people who are not black can't wear dreadlocks. People who are not Native American can't wear feathers
Well, can't use sage.
or can't use sage. That's like the Egyptians invented shovels, so it would be culturally inappropriate to use come on. No.
Yeah. When does it end?
That's
When does it stop?
yeah, it's somebody wanted to be upset about something and they're saying cultural appropriation. Well, you can't wear that. You're not Mexican, black, whatever, right? And no, that's culture. That's how culture works. Culture, you're not stealing it. You're just you're appreciating it. You're celebrating it, right?
Yeah, but it gives you, like you were saying, it gives you a reason to complain. You're not using my pronouns. That's a reason
we're not
to
going there
complain.
this show. I don't want all the haters today. I'm talking about cultural appropriation, not like wearing a sombrero or a kimono or something like that, right?
You know,
or wearing,
the height of fashion at one point was the kimono. You want the
yeah,
year? I can tell you.
it's not
You know,
appropriating it, it's celebrating it. That's how culture works. Culture is meant to be shared, not hoarded. It's these cultural appropriation people, the people who scream that, I don't know what they want attention, okay? Don't give it to them.
seriously.
If they s oh my gosh. I mean, when I figured out how that was being done, I was
It
thinking,
sounds good the first time you hear it, and then you start thinking about it.
yeah,
If
and
you
it's
ever
like,
do, and you should.
and it's not cultural appropriation, it's culture. You're appreciating it. Like, Shane Blake got in trouble for hanging up a dream catcher in her videos. She was not appropriating anything. She bought it from a seller who was selling it. That's buying it, not
You want to know and think about it a little bit further. And where do you think that might have been manufactured?
yeah,
China.
probably in California, New
China.
Oh,
Mexico.
China.
Well, no, I'm talking about local art stuff. She does the local art stuff.
All right, but
Yeah, there's
there's a person who put their art and crafts into that particular item.
And their
Is
energies.
painting appropriating Michelangelo?
No, it's appropriating all the way back to Egypt.
Yeah. You know, it's just it gotta stop. It's just
Just
stupid.
like the lathe. You can't have
yeah.
screws in your computers because the lathe was invented in Egypt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
you
just
know,
cultural
okay.
appropriation. You're right.
Now, Nerds is bringing up a point here. I think there's a wide range between white people can't make tacos and my funny Halloween costume is Mexican. What if it's a funny costume? Okay,
oh,
if you're wearing 18th century bandito costume, that's kind of funny. That's pretty funny, right? Now, uh, if if you're
Well, how about this? How about wearing a witch's costume? How many people have no problem doing that?
yeah, that's like
With all of the foolish nonsense that goes with it, from the wart on the nose to a pointy black hat.
and blue or green face covering because you're
Oh
dead.
yeah. Ooh. Not to mention your poor black cat, who all he ever did was to try to help you. So,
there you
you
go.
know,
Or the Shih Tzu.
Okay, I got some cultural
yeah,
appropriation
yeah.
for you that never got shouted at. Oh my God, this is straight from Blazing Saddles days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, not
Oh,
Blazing
let's just
Saddles.
go for the gusto there, Nathan.
Now, wearing an 18th century bandito costume is different than wearing, I don't know, a McDonald's uniform and a sombrero. That's fucked up. Okay, unless you're actually Mexican, then you're, I don't know what it is. I mean, whatever. How would you be upset with that?
All right, I walked into a restaurant and a lady was in traditional Korean outfit. Okay. And greeted us at the door, and I said, "You're beautiful tonight. It's very lovely on you." She goes, "Thank you. This is my grandma's." You know, she says, "I'm finally big enough to wear it." You know, and I'm like, "Oh boy, she'd love that." You know, I didn't say anything, but and it was silk. It was beautiful, just lovely. And the lady herself, the American gal, I doubt very much she green card. She had perfect accent, even for down here.
Hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Here
Here we
she
go.
was, you know, yeah, no, she didn't appropriate. Holy cow. Oh God, let's just go
There you
for it.
go. You want some cultural appropriation? There you go.
They look like mariachi singers to me.
Right. Is that messing with this is a movie poster from the 80s, I believe.
Oh, likely.
I forget when it comes out. Is this wrong? No. This is celebrating the culture. This is what you call celebrating the culture, not appropriating it, celebrating it. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to go off on cultural appropriation because I think it's just stupid. It's something for people to complain about when
Well,
they're
it's
when
part of being a gifted person, with strong analytical abilities. Yeah, we were talking about PSYOPs. Well, that movie wasn't a PSYOP, and it was a bow to the culture, while trying to bring some humor to a situation.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Now, it's a funny movie. It's a pretty funny movie if you like slapstick comedy. It
Yeah.
is.
Very slapstick. Very
And
burlesque.
it's not a one-liner movie, right? It's
When
not
I say burlesque, I'm not talking about knocking somebody's clothes off them. Burlesque is a sort of humor.
yeah.
Well, it was a way of theater for a long time.
Mhm.
Mm.
Now, I'm not sure what Woo Rider is referring to. What's funny is her middle name is Lynn. Who's that?
Who? Yeah, we writers. I didn't see what you're talking about. So if you just put it in the
don't
chat, I'll
know.
put it up here. We'll figure it out. We'll know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's the cultural appropriation. I had to just, and that's a tool that they're using to divide people, to get people upset because bad
I
vibes.
don't know. On the other tack, though, Nathan, I think what that more started over was somebody dressing or making up to look like a different ethnicity than they were.
Yeah, we're talking about. I'll
That's
say
how
it,
that started.
blackface. Yeah, blackface. That is racist. Okay,
Mhm.
that is racist. But wearing a Chicago Bulls thing and wearing Nike Airs is not racist. That's commercialism.
And yet, even the blackface turned out to have some good points to it, because Amos and Andy brought out the fact that a lot of the black people were facing the same problems as the white people.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well,
They were the first, I think they were the first gentlemen who were black to get on the stage.
Well, they weren't black, they were white in blackface.
Yes.
Amos and Andy, I'm going to have to look them up because I don't know.
That opened up the stage for people who were black.
It was both a radio and television show. It
Mhm.
started off in radio.
Okay. Amos and Andy. Let's see here. I mean, I didn't know we were going here. We're talking about social programming. Well,
Yeah.
this is it. This is part of it.
Right.
It's
It
part of
helped.
the agenda.
Yeah. And they actually brought black people onto their show,
Mhm.
which before that wouldn't have been allowed. But because these two black-faced white people allowed it.
Yeah.
Seemed like the
Amos,
right thing to go.
this is a CD cover, okay? Or a DVD cover, sorry.
Yep.
What year was that? Was that the 50s, 40s?
I think closer to the 20s or 30s.
Okay. Well, let me.
At least when it began.
No, on the TV it was
Well, yeah, it would have been the 50s.
early 50s.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Sitcom 1951.
the original show goes back to the 1920s on radio. It was called Sam and Henry at that time.
1928. Yeah. Amos and Andy began as one of the first radio comedy series originated from the station WMAQ in Chicago. After the first broadcast in 1928, show became and I didn't look past that. And something else. Let me I'm gonna bring something else up. What is that show? There was a show.
Yeah, but if we can relate it to PSYOPs, let's do it.
Yeah. Here's another one. Yeah. The entire staff of Boondocks is not black. One guy is black on there. Boondocks. Let me
I don't think I know the.
Yeah, this is kind of a newer thing, right? And this is kind of a newer thing. These guys, but they've been off the air for a while. Man, my mouse is going crazy. And this is a great show. Oh my God, the show is hilarious. These guys, this is a show y'all probably don't know about. That's Granddad and Riley and something else. I can't remember their names, but oh man,
what's the name of it?
The Boondocks.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Okay.
Okay, but how does it help deal with maybe the PSYOPs?
Okay, this kind of eases that. This kind of brings people into the culture. Nobody's wanting. Yeah,
so
thanks, Tim.
This is critically analyzing the content then, and actually helping get rid of some of the messages of the PSYOPs.
Yeah, that is countering it by pushing the actual life of people. Well, they're cartoons. That's not actual people, but it's the lifestyles and stuff.
We know that
counter operating it. Right? We are counter operating PSYOPs, and yet we're playing a part.
Yeah, it helps to debunk the misleading information.
I don't know about you guys, but sitcoms when I was a youngster and a young adult, and I stopped looking at that sort of stuff when I was raising kids. But sitcoms, very few of them actually reflected any reality at all. And I've looked at some of them since, and they still didn't.
Well,
so is this another thing? You don't have this thing, you will be happy if you do. This sounds more like advertising ploys in many respects. You walk into an apartment. Does it have curtains? Does it have carpet? Does it have nice new furniture? Almost every sitcom does. Yet you go into somebody else's living room, say mine or anybody's.
I'm having a heart attack. Here I come, Lord. Remember that one?
He was. Here I come, Esther, not Esther. Ethel. Is it Ethel?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was Esther.
Anyway, but there he was trying to operate a business, and it's very much slapstick, but it dealt with some of his problems as a small businessman.
Yeah.
Running this thing with his son. Mm-hmm. How many of us have kids at home? I do. And those kids are in their 30s and 40s. And why are they at home? They can't make it on the dumb little jobs that they're being offered.
Right. And okay, I have a coworker who's trying to make it on her own using art. The way things are today, it's hard to do that. You have to have a license. Right. You have to have a contract. I tried it.
Not only that, but artists is one of the first things that AI is going after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very easy for them to steal an original idea and pass it off as their own.
You know what? The artists the people who have events and shows and things like that and websites, they're starting to they're ruling themselves, right? Because there are no laws, officially no laws about you can't use AI art for whatever. However, the consumers have started now. I mean, I say consumers, I mean the people who run the shows, who sell artwork, sell things. They're starting to realize, and the people who are running these things say no AI art here, none. You can use electronic tools, sure, but no AI created art here,
Right.
and that's good. I'm glad
And
about
yeah, because it should be. Creativity should be relegated to human beings.
right because
The
takes me back.
how can AI create Jack?
AI cannot create. That's the main thing it's missing. It
They
can't be
borrow.
creative. No, it cannot be creative. It has to draw off the work of others before it. Kind of like, okay, I'm not going to get into it, but all art is derivative of something. Something inspired someone. So, okay, speaking of, like, I tried it as an artist and it didn't work. The toys that I mess with, the Final Faction toys, I tried to get them. I was getting artists and writers ready. They have a comic book that they canceled. I was going to take it over. I was poised to take it over. I had artists and writers ready to start to make a comic book with me, along with trading cards and merch. I made my own merch. I made cups and I made a T-shirt, and they wouldn't talk to me. They wouldn't give me a license to make that stuff. I'm like, all right, well, your brand is dying. So, and there's like maybe
You
50
don't
people.
know the underlying thing.
I do not. I do not. And I am not going to pay. Well, I would have paid royalties had
Mm.
I made a threshold, you know, had I made a threshold, then I would have paid them royalties. And I'm trying to keep the brand alive because I still do like it. I really do like it because the writers of that show, they got something going on, right? Because the points of that story are too quantum to ignore. It's presented like a cowboys and Indians type story, good versus bad, invaders versus not invaders. But there's a lot more to it if you read between the lines. Okay. But anyway, I digress. What I was talking about was trying to make it as an artist, and well, they didn't like my part, so they didn't like it. That's okay. Anyway, okay, Aussie, thanks for coming by and listening. You got to go. He's pushing his own buttons over there.
Okay.
Good
See
to
you
see
later,
you.
Aussie.
You say none of the sitcoms had anything to do with uh, life, but I remember you talking about your father and how he was in agreement with a loudmouth, uneducated bigot.
Which one?
I think it was Archie Bunker.
Not my dad. Not Archie.
Well,
He thought he
you
was.
were
Thought he personally was being attacked, and yet
well,
that's exactly how he behaved. Dad didn't like it. I
well.
think
I
that's right.
thought it was his son-in-law he hated. The
He
way you
did.
told it before.
Meathead.
He
Yeah,
did.
meathead.
His son-in-law was a liberal, and he hated him with a fine passion.
Hey, Raven's on. Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Hi.
Oh,
How you
Raven.
doing?
Hi, Raven. I'm glad
Hi.
to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. You want funny? My dad looked a lot like him. Spoke like him too, although not without the Brooklyn accent or the Bronx one, depending on the day with him.
My
And
grandparents would like them too.
yeah, very. That's my way. There's only my way, and you can go to hell if you don't see it my way.
That's right.
Yep.
And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
believe that Archie and Edith are still arguing.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm
Probably.
sure. My mother
Raven.
was not an Edith type. She'd look at him right back and say, you can go to your hell if you wish.
Yet,
You know?
yet that helped break up the mainstream thought of the time, because by making him look like an educated bigot, I
Well, they
guess
didn't make him look like one. He was one.
I strongly disagree. The actor himself was not.
Oh, the actor was very educated about what he was doing. He knew
Right.
exactly what, and he knew how.
Yeah.
He was an entirely different person than the character.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Raven has just come onto the panel. Welcome back, Raven. Thanks for coming on.
Welcome back, Carter.
I'm
Sorry, Raven.
Please, yes, I'm happy.
Yeah, we were talking about stuff. Yeah, we were talking about stuff behind the scenes, and you're focusing a lot on the eclipse right now. Well, there's a lot of PSYOPS stuff going on with the eclipse. A lot of spirit
come on.
mongering.
We've had eclipse before here in El Paso, even.
Yeah, well, the whole world has actually.
Yeah.
Every year, somebody has an eclipse.
It happens very regularly, and I don't understand the big hoo-ha over it. Do
Okay,
you?
let me explain. Let me explain the big hoo-ha. Okay, I'm sitting ground zero for the New Madrid fault. There was an earthquake here in 1811 in which the Mississippi River ran backwards. It was so strong. Now, at that time, there were not a lot of high-rises in St. Louis City, and the arch certainly wasn't there, and so on and so forth. But
Right.
the type of eclipse, the path of the eclipse and all that is said to be the same. And we all know that earthquakes and eclipses go hand in hand. So
Really?
the big
You do?
Do we?
science,
No.
yeah.
That
Right. Now, New York and New Jersey both had mild, 4.8, not necessarily mild. There weren't any injuries from it, but
And
both
Taiwan had the 7 point whatever. Now let me finish. Okay, so in addition to that, then we've got all the other craziness about the SORA Jonah and the whale and the path of the 7 cities named Nineveh, the blah blah blah, and all that, which is kind of weird, but whatever. These two, the path of the eclipse from 2017 and the path of this one intersect right here in Illinois. We're kind of right on the border of
Nathan,
Missouri and Illinois.
it's
are
done
you
that many times before.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Nathan, are you able to adjust her sound just a little bit so it
It's
doesn't
on her
crack?
end. I did.
Sure.
You're
Right.
very spotty. You're like, there's,
Really?
yeah. Do you have your microphone?
Have it on.
I just posted an article by Business Insider saying that
Yeah,
solar
you do.
eclipses and earthquakes are not correlated.
Okay, but Raven, yeah, your sound is really
Okay, how
cracked.
about there? How about that? Is that better?
No, it's still doing it. Do you have a microphone? That microphone?
But
The
the
headset?
jack for it, I got the one I use for the radio. Here, this one.
Not
but I
that one. The
I can't.
headset. Do you have the
Yeah,
headset?
like the little earbud things.
Yeah.
Let me put those in. Yeah, let me do that.
That'll give you much better audio than your phone audio.
Okay. Let me get those in right here.
Headphones are a must.
Yeah. Here. Okay. You're going here.
Your phone got battery? All good?
Yeah. I'm good there. There we go. Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, those things twist up like crazy. I'm
Yeah,
so glad.
they become a cat toy after a while, and that's why I hate using them, because inevitably.
Okay, so can you hear us? Now,
No.
I want you to adjust you can't hear us?
I can't hear you. I can hear you in my phone, but I can't hear you in these.
Make sure you're plugged in good.
Maybe I'll turn the plug around.
Can
Okay.
you hear us? Can you hear me?
Not in these, I can't. But tell you what, can you hear me okay? I'll just unplug one of the ear
No, we
things.
can't hear you. You're still,
Rocking.
yeah, it's like it's like your mic
Overdriven.
volume is, yeah, it's overdriven. There's a lot of feedback. Are they plugged in all the way?
Yeah, they've always worked before. I don't know why.
It's like it's not plugging in.
It's
Yeah, like
plugged
it's
in.
not making the connection.
Yeah, it's like it's hanging on the outside of the plastic or something. You heard it here on the Quantum Show, people.
That mutes
All right.
it. Okay. Oh man, I don't know what to do.
Can you hear us now?
No, I can hear you in the
your
phone.
headset. Well, we can
No.
hear your mic changed. Your mic changed to not the phone mic. Now it sounds clear.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll just leave it be then.
Wait a minute. It's
No,
still
that's
kind
better.
of. It's still like that. Okay. Let me see.
All right. Well, let me hang up, and I'll call back, and I'll set the mic and this with this thing. Join with this thing already attached. Maybe that's the problem.
It might be.
Attachment
I don't know how
after
to do it
that.
on a phone. I don't know how to do it on a phone. I know how to
Okay.
do it on a PC, but I don't know how to do it on a phone. Okay, well, go
Let me
ahead.
try
We'll
that.
be back.
I'll be right back.
Go ahead.
Okay, hold that thought. We're talking about the New Madrid fault going off here. PSYOP. Okay, hopefully this won't
That
take too
is a
long.
PSYOP.
Okay, she's disconnected. Okay.
Right.
So anyway,
It's on top of it, nerd.
oh, we lost Joe.
He hit the
What
wrong
do you
button.
know? Yep. It's
Oh,
not
no.
time to push buttons yet, Joe.
Yeah, leave those buttons alone. He'll be back
But-
here in a second.
Yeah, the Sergeant Lujan is definitely sponsored.
Oh
Okay?
yeah.
They wouldn't let the military does not let their people do stuff like that. It makes it's I want to say everything is approved of. Maybe not directed by them, but approved of by them.
Well,
Same
the big
thing.
thing with them is that, if there's no appearance of bad stuff,
Yeah, they
That's
don't.
okay.
Right. This is it's sanctioned.
Mhm.
So, and the PSYOPS stuff, right? Yeah. Oh,
somewhat.
there is a lot of this stuff. It's watched. Okay. I can, nerd, you may have more insight than I do, but this stuff seems to be, it's sanctioned, it's approved of. Because, okay, if I was to do this at my job, about my job, do stupid stuff, act silly at my job, they have they do not do that. You do not do that, right? There are signs up all over the place. No cameras, no photography, excuse me. And, right, sanctioned, making it work for them. Joe is back. You hit the wrong button, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, now your mic is way up. I got you. Okay, you're good. All right, hit the wrong button. No, I agree. Less directed, more. Okay, what she's saying is, might as well accept benefits. Yes, I agree with that.
Well, there was a
And
point, and it still
she's
is
being-
for people.
Yeah, she's being pushed forward, pushed to the front, so
Mhm.
more people can see her. Whereas that's that crowd, okay? That's that crowd, and it is. You gotta say she's super pretty, and she's putting on a great show. And right, okay. Why so many of her pics are off base and out of official uniform? Yeah, we saw the official uniforms. The one at Fort Jackson, that was an official uniform. The hair is a giveaway. The hair is what is a tell. Okay, when she's got her hair down, that is a big tell. That is not official, but they're approving of it because she would be shadow banned if they didn't approve of it.
Mm-hmm.
She would be. So they're approving of it, and
Wouldn't be real overt from them. She just wouldn't get promotions or pay raises.
right, she just
Things
got.
would get lost. All kinds of little things that happen.
And you don't just wait around for a promotion to NCO sergeant. Okay, you don't. No, you work for that. You work for that. You got to go to a board. You got to study for this thing. They grill you with questions that are in a book that you study for, and then you go to I think it's BNOC. It's an acronym. I can't remember what it stands for. It's NCO. I can't. It's
The
not,
Army is
not-
very protective of their women's branch,
Yeah.
or was, and nothing outside the pale with those guys.
Yeah. Okay. Basic NCO course. Yes. Thank you. I've been out for 20 years. I can't remember. BNOC. BNOC is what they call it.
Well, women have fought so hard to be equal in the services that it takes a younger crowd to go along with this stuff. You won't.
Yeah.
You won't see it from a woman that's been in the service for 10, 15 years. No way.
No, not at all. I was a chaplain's assistant, right? Before they redid the it's biting me. It feels like something's biting me. But I was a chaplain's assistant. One of my last chaplains was a woman. She was a captain at the time, or maybe she became lieutenant colonel, and she transferred to another post. But she got promoted to lieutenant colonel before she transferred. She did not do stuff like that. But then again, she was a chaplain, right? And
Wow.
I have a friend who was almost another Sergeant Lujan. I don't know if you ever met her, Tim. Raven's back. Let's see. Raven, how you doing?
Okay. Well, I redid the settings. I can't hear you guys though.
You can't hear us through your headphones?
Nope.
Well, okay. Well, I want you. I don't know how to do it on a phone, you know. Do you have. You don't.
Hold on a second. Let me turn this up here. Okay. I've got it as a headset earpiece. It wasn't set on earpiece. And
Still spotty.
now I can't hear you guys. But you can hear me.
Well, we can hear you, but it's still got a lot of. Joe, what's the word you used? Sputter.
Yeah, it's called sputter.
There's a lot of sputter on your end.
Sputter. What about now? Is that any better?
No.
No.
You're using your phone?
Yeah. Because the lag time on the computer is so bad.
Okay. Well.
But I can try.
I'll
try the computer.
Let me go ahead.
So I'm going to hang up again.
Whoa.
And I'll be back.
She was turned way up. Okay, let's go back on here.
Nerd's got a good point.
Yeah,
a real good point.
Yeah, there are. But those aren't being pushed to the front that I can see. They're not pushing them at me, but that might be Facebook and YouTube's algorithm at work. They're not sending male soldiers videos at me. They're sending the female soldiers because of demographics. And she's also saying current push in the military is that recruitment is too low for all the Afghanistan vets, telling Gen Z not to join, that they are changing what's allowed to attract more people. That makes sense. I'm not in the current know of all the military goings on, right? I should probably, you know what would be great for a show like this? A copy of the Stars and Stripes. That would be a great thing to look at, right? Let me see.
Well, they see a lot of things from the military perspective. So,
Well, they
you
make a
want
lot of
to know
stuff.
how that works? There it is.
They make up a lot of that stuff too. You should have seen
Yeah.
when I was in there and they were talking about the history of Halloween. I was like, this makes no sense. And it made no sense.
Somebody just picked up a subject and ran with it.
They made stuff up. They said the origin of clubs, like nightclubs, it was the most high school written stuff I've ever seen. But anyway, I know a person, I'm not gonna go with the Stars and Stripes, but I know a person who avoided being a Sergeant Lujan. She was groomed, okay? She was groomed because she was blonde, super pretty. She was one of the command staff, and she was in she became an NCO later, and she got away from that. She's retired now. So they were grooming her. She even married an officer, not in her direct chain of command, within the battalion, but not within her chain of command. So she was being groomed. And there was some, you know how people perceive something and then they tell you the story and you're like, well, that was this. What were you doing? And she was on the receiving end of that. She still doesn't believe me, but I'm like, you were being groomed for this, right? And like the story of the lady that I told, she didn't want to be on camera, didn't want to be recorded. Told about the abortion clinic in the 80s in Michigan. What she saw was brutal abortions. What I saw was human harvesting. What she described, and I wasn't putting a spin on it. A doctor covered covered from the only thing you could see was the back of his neck, right? All the PPE, all the protective stuff, walking in the office like that, not putting it on after he got there, but walking in like that and brutalizing, treating these women like animals, and then taking the remains personally. I don't care what year it was, what era it was. And witnessing that got her fired. That is, she saw brutal abortions being performed.
Yeah.
What she described was human harvesting. That's what she described. For
Did
whatever
any of the women actually survive it?
Yeah, they survived it. And it was in the 80s, but
Amazing.
yeah, what my friend was going through, she doesn't see it as she was being groomed. She was being groomed. She was assigned to the command section. You don't ask for that, right? She was assigned to the command section. She was guided, it seems like guided to marry an officer, and then it didn't work out between them. Okay? I hope I never meet that guy again. He's retired too. I hope I never meet that guy again. And it didn't work out. So she paid there was some backlash when she didn't follow the program. She didn't even know she was in a program, and she wasn't being told what she was due on her personal time. So that was her personal time. And I look at it, I'm like, you were being groomed to become a Sergeant Lujan, not what you did, which she became a master sergeant. She became a chief on a Black Hawk crew, and she's a badass. She's a legit badass.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Hats off. She is a legit badass. She was a crew chief on a Black Hawk helicopter. She went to Afghanistan. Hell yeah, she's a badass. And now she's working with horses with her daughter.
You know, a lot of young women enter these fields, whether it's going into military, perhaps going to college for a doctorate, the doctoring degree for MD, even nursing. And essentially, looks are not necessarily a good thing.
Right. They become
And yeah,
they become
and
tools.
all of the all all of it is geared that way. It's part and parcel of what uh, women's liberation, if you will, is
Mhm.
about. Not having to uh, constantly, have to say no to somebody who's coming on to you or what have you, you know. And I had my share of it in my young 20s and mid 20s, 30s, 40s, where, you know, I'm doing a job here. Back off.
Yeah.
And there's so many people think that they're right to just, hey, I'm paying your salary. You
Mhm.
know, if you want your job, do what I want.
Yep. So, yeah, a lot of this there's a lot of manipulation going on, and a
Mhm.
lot of it is intel backed, pushed, directed. It's it's psyops, and it takes some education to be able to see the psyop. When now the younger the younger women that they're pushing out there, I can see that. That's immediate, okay? But what wasn't immediate was Lou Elizondo in ufology. He wasn't immediate, and a lot of people fell for it. A lot of people were going for clicks and views and fell for the division. So he left ufology in shambles. He got people pitted against people. No one was discussing anymore. They were arguing, and that was the goal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think the same thing is occurring with the eclipse
It could
because
be.
Yeah,
there
that is
is no scientific evidence that an eclipse that happened years ago is going to have any effect on an eclipse that's happening now. And there's no scientific evidence that an eclipse that's happening now is going to cause earthquakes. There are earthquakes all the time. Uh, the effect of the moon on tides has more effect on earthquakes than the eclipse does.
yeah. And here's something else, and Raven will argue this point
Maybe.
against. But we were talking, and they're speaking of the eclipse. They're firing up CERN on the day of the eclipse.
Oh,
First of
that's
all,
brilliant.
well, big deal, big deal.
It's on
But
the other side of the planet.
yeah, big deal. Whoop de doo. They're firing up CERN, and part of the disinformation being put out there is that the eclipse will bring in multidimensional creatures from other places in here. Think of the movie Stephen King's The Mist. No. Okay. No. It's these aliens are coming in and through a dimension, or she described okay, the what is being put out there is literally the plot to the game Half-Life. Okay.
Well, one of the yeah,
Okay, well that's not the same, right,
but
Woo?
like we were just saying, they're on the other side of the planet.
Yeah,
You know,
and it's
so they're not
something.
even going to see an eclipse on this
Yeah,
on the other
I don't
side.
get it. I mean, it's literally almost 4 to the word, the the theme to Half-Life. Some people open a dimensional portal using a collider, and all these brain sucker aliens come out. Oh, come on.
Well, at least
No.
they're first on the menu. Think of
It's
it that way.
it it's disinfo. It's give them something to talk about so they don't make up let's give them our dumb stuff to talk about, so they don't make up stuff to talk about.
Or better yet, what are we hiding? What are we trying to distract all these people with this mess?
Yeah, now there is a correlation between shuttle flights and earthquakes and tsunamis. There is a correlation,
How about that?
but not going to go. Okay,
It's
your
not
devices
significant,
are
though.
not connected. Raven's trying to come back in, but here we go. How we doing, Raven?
Something
Raven.
happened here.
Hey, Raven. Hey, Raven. She's frozen. You're frozen. Yeah, you're frozen.
Well, there she is.
There is a lot of lag, though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah, we can hear you. You're loud.
Oh boy.
I'm going to turn. Whoa. Let me push
Okay.
the button, okay?
Oh, well, here, let me. I'm using
Leave it.
You know what? Why don't you try turning your camera off? You can do voice only. That's fine.
I did for quite a while.
Okay.
And then I subjected these poor innocent souls to my face.
Here.
Hang on there, Renee. We're doing some technical. Can you turn your camera off?
Well, Renee Andrews has a quick question.
Yeah,
there.
we'll get to that, Renee.
This is his sphere.
Yeah, and there is just a slight significant figure there, but yes, you do get some from strong solar flares, but that's a lot more energetic than just the moon following its monthly path of going to moon dark.
wouldn't the moon kind of come between us and the sun just enough
to and block
calm
it?
that?
Yeah, it would act to block it. So we were having a strong solar flare at that time. Now what's going to happen is like along that path of the eclipse, radio operators are going to find that lower frequencies that normally work at night will work better during the when the atmosphere is not receiving so much ionization.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah,
Renee.
Okay.
I already agree with you, Renee.
Yeah, we agree, and you can see there is a correlation because the Earth is a motor or generator, and it's magnetically entwined with itself, and it has this enormous magnetic field around it. And when the solar flares happen, it pushes out a even more enormous magnetic flare, and that interacts with ours. And well, when you have something, have you ever seen a motor go out of balance? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and science has recently agreed with an old theory that the reason why our plate tectonics works is because we're sitting on top of an ocean.
Yeah, I agree.
We're floating on top of an ocean.
And there's primary water also. And okay, Raven, give us a shout.
In case you don't know what primary water is, it's water that has never come to the surface before.
But it is now. It does now. There are sources of it. Raven, we can't hear a word you're saying. Are you hooked up? Let me look at the mic settings. Mic is on.
I think so. Can you hear me?
There we go. It's just too loud.
Let's see. Keep talking, Raven.
Renee, we have a collider very much like CERN here in Texas.
There's one in Tennessee also.
And MIT runs one too. So, and we can be sure that other countries like China have their own.
Yeah, and you know what? They're all doing their own thing. Nobody wants to collaborate, unfortunately.
Well, CERN is supposed to be the collaboration one.
Yeah, I mean, imagine. Now, this is my sci-fi kind of fantasy, right? You have these different colliders running, and if they're all doing the same thing, all doing the same frequencies, what if they were communicating with each other? It's so cool. I love that idea. Yeah, Raven, you got.
Well, that would be their nightmare, wouldn't it?
I would love that. I would love to see that.
There's no reason one couldn't be an antenna while the other one's transmitting.
They
Very
they're they could do both at the same time. They're colliders. They're
The
very complicated machines.
problem with that, I don't think we have the technology to split the input and the output at the same time. It takes an item called a duplexer.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a.
There's one at those frequencies and those
right.
energies.
Well, I
Yeah.
can see why they don't collaborate. I mean, whoever comes up with the discoveries that are bound to follow this thing are going to be noteworthy, if not Nobel Prize winners.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
CERN
who
is
wants
the collaboration one.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
want to
Well,
share that stuff.
It's
But
the Olympics.
it's the one device, though. I'm talking multiple devices. Like if
Right.
CERN and Oak Ridge and who did you say, Joe?
We have one in Houston.
Houston, CERN, Oak Ridge, and Houston could get on the same sheet of music, could follow the same plan, do the same operations. Would they? I mean, on an atomic or on a quantum level, because they work with quantum mechanics over there. Would they be able to link them up on a quantum level instead of radio frequencies, which of course they should be. I mean, they can, call each other up just as easy as we're doing this. But would they be able to link together in a quantum level, like a teleporter or something? And not a teleporter where it's beaming, but a teleporter where it's taking into reality here and moving it over there, maybe swapping them. And there have been stories about that too. But anyway, we're way off topic of PSYOPs, kinda, because only
the
kinda.
PSYOPS is behind all the current hullabaloo about the eclipse. I mean, the eclipse happens. Well, it's not every year; it's every 18 months. But yeah, every 18 months there's an eclipse somewhere.
It goes somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, it goes somewhere. And
there's partial eclipses in between.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like Mercury retrograde, although Mercury retrograde happens much more often, and people may raise an awful lot more hell over it.
yeah.
You know?
So
Yeah, but a solar flare is throwing a lot more energy at us, and that should really screw things up. But
yeah,
no,
I didn't see this comment, nerd. Sorry about that. And yeah, I can't blame for wanting the apocalypse. And let me see here. We might be a psyop. I wish we were a psyop. Okay, let's see if Raven's going to come back because we're on the last little few minutes of the show. Hey, Raven, you're back to the phone?
There's some settings on this little microphone thing that I did not know were there. So I'm going to play with this and see if this works. I can't hear you in headphones. But
I don't know what's going on with your headphones. Those are suited specifically. If they're the ones that I know of, they're
the ones
for
you sent
your
me.
phone. They're for your phone. They're USB.
Oh, I bet I have to go to settings.
It's this. USB 3.
I'm so sorry.
Or USB-C.
I'm just ruining the show here.
C, USB-C.
Oh, Nathan, would you happen to have a spare mini display port to display port connector?
You know what? Yes, on my phone.
Oh, well, never mind that.
But I can't get it to do anything because I can't find the setting for it. Are you talking about for?
No, I've got a new card for my a new graphics card for my 3D printing computer,
Okay.
and it's got 4 times the amount of memory as my original one.
Okay,
But
can you
it
hear me
came,
now?
yes, and beautiful.
Yes, you sound great.
Yeah, you sound good. It's just
Let
a
me.
matter of a button here and there.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Say something else, Raven. Talk to us, Raven.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, it's back.
It's back.
Whatever you did, undo it because you're like crackling really badly.
Tim, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, what Nerd was talking about. Voice says Quantum Show just might be a psyop. If they're letting me do this, I have the worst direction ever. if they're pushing me, they need to get on the ball and send
Yes,
me some.
seriously, I want money.
Yeah, they gotta. I need to be
Thanks for
like,
none of us getting paid.
direct me. Put Google Fiber out here because I'm working on a freaking cell phone connection. Come on now. But PSYOPS militia are
What the
we're kind
hell?
of doing it already.
Yeah, we're kind of doing it already. You're right.
we're the anti-PSYOP psyop.
Right.
Calling them out.
This is not helpful.
The quantum psyops. All right.
Quantum
Thank you,
PSYOPS
Tim.
militia.
Hey, we need a badge.
Oh, I've been working on logo. I've been working on a new logo.
Well, there you go. Kim just
And
did it.
I'm gonna have to put that in there too. Because I have this picture and I'm running with it. Let me see here.
I don't know.
I
Military
like that, Tim.
indicates violence, and I'm not for that.
What is it? Militia?
Yeah.
Well, it's better than
Oh, no.
inertia.
Militia
Oh no,
says
we're not.
violence to me.
No, I've got a new logo, and PSYOPS is part of it, right? But it's not a militia. It's just like,
Resistance.
yeah, it's I need to draw it. I've got it in my
Gandhi.
head, but I need to draw it out. And then go
Maybe
to
you
the
should think like Gandhi.
Raven. Oh boy. Too many technical issues. I have tried and tried to get her technical work, but I'm not boots on the ground up there. I can't hook her stuff up correctly, and no one knows how to do it because it's so complicated and it takes a networker and someone with experience to know how to do the stuff, right?
Quite often.
And yeah, I got the worst regulation ever. We have the worst regulation here ever. We have community standards. That's what we got.
It's like herding cats.
Yeah,
And
we're not.
we're not as good as cats getting herded.
Oh, here we go. Woo Rider, sorry I didn't see you at first. Woo. Question for Lynn. How long do you think it would take humanity to adjust if social media and internet went away?
I think that about half of the people under 35 would have a nervous breakdown. I also think that they would not know how to take care of themselves. And there it is.
Yep. The constant stream of input would be gone, and they wouldn't. And
It would be a breakdown of it. It'd be its own catastrophe.
yeah.
They have come to depend on this, like the folks did during the 60s and 70s did on their car, And although if you don't have a car, you can walk. It's a little
Yeah.
different.
Get a bicycle.
Yeah, or a bicycle.
Okay, let's check Raven's tech settings. Raven, can you hear
Yes.
us?
How's that?
Oh, and your microphone is back again, doing the sputtering stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't even know what you're looking at. I can't look at it myself. to see what microphone you're using to do the settings on a phone. Let
Man,
me
they'd
try.
have to learn to use the library again.
Yeah,
and
I
and
mean,
and snail mail.
Oh, they yeah.
the library is its own science.
And
when
so
you
many
can-
people do not know how to use just a book or mail. They don't know how to use mail.
I wonder if it's not my phone. When I plug the jack in for the headphones on the phone, I can't hear you guys. And right now I have it out.
I don't have the right kind of. I've got this. I don't have the USB one. You
It
got the
could be my
USB.
phone. It could be worn out. Because, of course, it just got paid for a month ago. So now it's time for it to break, right?
Right.
Might be a
planned
thing.
obsolescence. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. In the computer, there's too much of a lag, and StreamYard can't keep up with it. It would give me that little circle thingy.
It's not. I mean, there is an option to turn your camera off, but
Moonriders,
that would, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
If you were to if you were to
Even
turn
with
your
the
camera off,
Yeah, I turned the camera off, and it didn't speed up anything.
Writers, I saw on YouTube the other day just what you're talking about there. But they didn't get rid of the internet, and they didn't get rid of
Media. Social
media. What they did is they let some girls go to girls' camp, and they broke them up into two groups. One group spoke to their mother every day, and the other group did not get to speak, but got to write their mother. And there was this difference in hormone levels and dopamine in the girls that got to speak to their mother. The ones that didn't get to speak to their mother, those levels plummeted. So, yeah, the benefit would be to interact in person, and maybe we'd get to get back to what we used to be. We're not picking up a gun and answering our problems. We took, okay, I'm so old. We took guns to school.
that happened in my. Yeah, same. There was
We put them in the closet, and we went to our NRA practice from school on the school bus.
Yeah.
They when I was in
the
school,
auditorium with us.
they did away with it in Tennessee while I was in school. There were shooting classes teaching you how to shoot. Bring your own 22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we didn't have all this violence in schools. Well, we
Not
did
at
have
all.
violence in school. We did have violence in
It
schools.
was 1-to-1. It was
1-to-1 out in the playground and whack, whack.
Duked it out. Somebody had a broken nose. The other one lost a tooth.
Yeah, and then we'd go in the cafeteria and each grab a milk and talk about how the fight went.
Yeah. Right. And end up the best of friends.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, it happened to me a couple times. And that was in the hallway, but we both got suspended. So that happens too.
Free holiday. What do you know?
Suspension. Yeah. And now it's like if somebody calls somebody else a name, I always told my son, well, what's the truth of it? Are they speaking the truth?
They called him Moon.
They called me Moon, Ma. Idiot, it's your name. I'm like, go stand in court so you can think for yourself.
Oh, we lost Joe.
Yeah, there goes Joe.
That's okay.
It's that sort of thing, though, like he was saying, that we have lost. And we lost it because of social media. We've lost it for a number of reasons, not the least of which is television.
Yeah.
How many people come home, turn the boob tube on? Boom. No thought, no quiet, nothing. Everything's just bam in your face.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of that too.
Would not be bad.
I do that too. I look at short videos and I get the serotonin burst, and I've had to cut myself back from that. I've had to cut back because I will be on there for hours. That is the big thing. Turning into a zombie, a social media shorts zombie, and I have to get away from it.
Yeah,
But
and I can do the same thing, and I'm not geared that way, not at all.
Don't drop your mouse while you're in this program.
right.
The matifier got it, huh?
No, I dropped the mouse and
It clicked something.
it clicked something, and next thing I know, you guys have disappeared on me. I'm all by myself.
Or so.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Raven has us land on this whole eclipse thing that I would like to hear.
okay.
Can you hear me okay right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so back to this whole New Madrid fault thing that runs underneath the Mississippi and so forth, and kind of where it's right where I am. There was a comet that they had discovered in 1812.
1811.
1811. It is the same one, I guess. It's on a 71-year elliptical orbit or whatever, and it was 2 months. It's the same comet that they're calling the Devil Comet that will be able to be seen during the eclipse. And it was right after that that all these terrible earthquakes happened. There were reported 10,000 earthquakes up to 2 months after the eclipse.
Wow.
So now the 1811 earthquake, like I said, was so strong that the Mississippi River went backwards. And there wasn't a lot here there. There was, some warehouses, whatever, along the river bank and some log cabins and so forth, but not like what we have now. And it was in March. I thought I wrote the date down, but I didn't. It was in March when this happened. So we're here at springtime again. Here comes this comet again. And there's just so many things lining up, and history does repeat itself. So that's why there is such a nervousness, I guess. I can feel it in the collective. It's like, kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop type thing. But it's amping up, and the energies have just been crazy. I mean, you're empathic. I'm sure you understand when I'm saying when the energies are kind of crazy. Yeah, just when we think we've seen crazy enough, it gets worse. It can get worse, right? So that's the reason why this whole thing is kind of, I'm paying attention to it. I'm taking it seriously, but I'm not in fear.
Good. Because I think the whole thing is a psyop.
It could be.
The alignment between Earth, the sun, and the moon is about the same every 18 months, no matter where you live at.
Well, I think
But there's other planets. We got 7 planets in a row. They're all going to be lining up. That's what we didn't have, on any regular eclipse. We've got 4 other planets in alignment with us. So that's got to have some kind of a gravitational pull on each other. You know what I mean?
So very slightly. But yes, there's going to be some gravitational pull. But we get more, like I said before, we get more energy from the sun throwing solar flares at us than what we get from the other planets.
Yeah.
You can combine them all, I guess, with the exception of if Jupiter sent something towards us, we might have something to worry about. But, from a scientific perspective, a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, casting a shadow on the Earth's surface. This is every 18 months in a region. Similarly, a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth passes between the sun and the moon, causing the Earth's shadow to hit the moon. Now, when alignment may seem precise during an eclipse, it's important to recognize these events occur frequently, not infrequently. They're frequent. So where's the evidence of any sort of earthquakes or things like that? It's not there. It is not there. Now, yes, there's a coincidence. We've got a comment and all the rest
There's
of that.
no
But,
coincidences, though. There are no such things as coincidence. You know.
All
well,
right, I have a question on this, and I think it's kind of like an either or thing. You know, some of the things that have occurred in the past that were uh, seemingly as a result of aren't necessarily a result of, but
right.
happen to be noted at that time.
At that time,
Isn't
yeah.
that what you're trying to say?
Well, that too. But, I think somebody took advantage of the potential for a psyop behind eclipses. And it's conceivable that these tactics could be used to exploit the significance or mysticness of the celestial events for various purposes, such as closing down schools, having whole cities
Prepare for
closed off,
disaster. Yeah.
misinformation, and psychological manipulation.
Well,
Uh,
and something that Storm brought up to me about the situation was more in the neck of so many of these smaller towns that are going to be affected, say in Texas. They are small towns. They are not geared for the tremendous amount of influx of visitors that
yeah,
are coming in for this event.
you can bet we're going to have a bunch of road accidents because
Oh, almost certainly.
Okay.
But that will not be a result of a eclipse rather than a consequence of the actions.
People.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's false
Okay.
narratives and conspiracy theories are propagated to create fear, confusion, and uncertainty.
Yeah. Okay. What now? She's asking where to look. You will need to get an app on your phone. Here's one I use. Right. Let me to place the stars so you know where to look at, because I know all of us are so into astronomy and astrology that we know exactly where shit is in the sky, and well, we don't. So I use
It's
this.
supposed to be visible when at the very peak of the eclipse that you'll
Yeah,
just
that's
have like
when.
4 minutes that
But
you can see it.
where? She's asking where to look.
It's somewhere up by the sun, wherever the sun is eclipsing.
Here's what, right?
Not really.
I
It's going to be
read
left of Jupiter.
right near Jupiter. Where's Jupiter? How do I find Jupiter? You use this thing right here. Okay. Now I am looking at
Yeah, we
Sky
really
Tonight.
don't have the time for an astronomy lesson tonight.
Right. No, that's why this is the
This
shortcut,
app
right?
would be much easier.
This is called Sky Tonight. Now it's locked on a. Hold on.
The whole reason you
share
can
this.
see it is because the moon will be blocking the sun. It's somewhere close to the sun, is what I read. And that's
Come on
why
now.
you'll have 4 minutes that you can see it.
All right, now
Okay.
let me show you what's going on here, right? So what I'm doing is this is the perspective. It's being shown to me what the camera is looking at based on GPS. Now, if I flip it around, you're going to see what it's seeing.
Right.
Okay, this is Sky Tonight. Now, this is a pretty good app to be able to identify where stuff is, right? It
What's it called
shows
again?
where, huh?
What's it called again? Sky
Tonight.
I've been trying, Raven, I've been trying to get you to put this on your phone for months.
Maybe we can put that on the information for the show as well.
Okay, I will. I'll put a description, but it's in the Play Store and it's in the Apple Store if you have an Apple. So you just get the app Sky Tonight. It does take a kind of a fancy phone to run. Raven, yours can do it, right?
Okay.
Because you have a fancy phone. And
Not
like,
really.
you know what is your phone? What phone is yours? What do you have?
An Android?
Specifically,
Android?
I have an Android, but who made it?
Galaxy something or other.
Oh, Yeah, that's got it. That's got it.
That's a fancy phone, Raven. That is a super fancy phone. That's like top of the line.
That's Samsung.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Samsung Galaxy.
That's like you got a Corvette in your pocket. For
It
real.
doesn't work half the time that I want it to.
Well, you got to think the way it wants to think.
Yeah. You got a Corvette. Okay, let me turn this.
Yeah,
down.
but you don't drive a Corvette like you do a little four-banger.
Right.
No, you know.
And
You know?
you keep out of a steering wheel.
Renee, look near Jupiter. Get you an app to find the planets like Sky Tonight and look near Jupiter. And then you
Yes,
should
I'm
be
not
able to see it with your eyes, right? So, yeah, you got a
Eyes like
Samsung
that.
Galaxy anything. That's a badass phone, Raven.
Now the thing is,
I guess I'm not a Corvette kind of gal. Okay, I drive a Jeep.
people should be wearing very protective goggles in order to look up at the sun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's going to block out seeing the little comet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
don't look at the sun, people. Don't look directly at the sun. But you're gonna have like 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, if you're in the path of totality, to look up and look for Jupiter and look for that comet.
Well,
Oh man, so many people are gonna be taking pictures. I was this close to ordering some glasses off of Amazon. I was like, you know what? I got other things I got to take care of first. You know.
Well, Warby Parker is giving away sunglasses for the eclipse. If you've got a Warby Parker store near you or an outlet,
what's that?
they make glasses, and it's a mail order.
We don't have them here.
I don't have them here either.
They're kind of
I
dotted
like
across them.
Bahama Mama, you know. Used to be
Yeah,
in the mall.
we'll just have to go down to our Circle K and pick up one from there. We
Okay.
only have 80%.
There you go.
Jupiter will be to the left of the sun and Venus will be on its right. So look to the left of the sun if you're in the path of totality. Okay, now Saturn and Mars are expected to be on the right of Venus, though they will be fainter than any other planets. The solar system's 3 other planets will be in the vicinity, but virtually impossible to see with the naked eye. So it'll be you got to locate Jupiter. Use the app. Use an app. And use the glasses. Go ahead.
Why is CERN firing up the Hadron Collider during those 4 minutes?
Does it make?
Why not?
Well, it just is kind of weird that they're doing it right then and there. It must have some significance.
It's on the other side of the world.
They're getting a lot of press about it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's at least 7 hours, you know, different, and time zones different.
I wonder if there's a collider in the path of totality in the United States.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's one in Houston.
Oh, so it's going to be in Houston? Watch for Houston aliens.
Well, if all the Houston scientists at that particular collider, you know,
let's turn it on
location, if they end up, you know, with the dead and half-eatens, we'll understand what happened.
No, it's the one in Switzerland that they're firing up. One in France and Switzerland.
Well,
and I'm like,
you know, the other ones aren't broadcasting every time they fire up.
No.
Right.
And they fire up much more frequently than that.
So my question is that a PSYOP?
The scheduling, I think, is a PSYOP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what is being put out on social media because of CERN firing it up during a solar eclipse somewhere, right?
Yeah. So the rumor has it that they're trying to blow open a portal.
That's been a rumor since the beginning, and it's also, remember that oh great, what was his name? There was one scientist that said the first time that CERN was turned on, it would just blow a hole through the world. That didn't happen either.
Yeah, there is. Okay.
I can't say I was disappointed. You
know. I cannot accept that. That sounds like misinfo put out there on purpose to confuse people and make people scared.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what about the rockets then that NASA, the 3 rockets they're shooting up towards the moon during this eclipse? What the hell is that for?
I don't think it has anything to do with the eclipse, honestly.
I think
I
it
think it's
does.
scheduling.
I think it does too.
I think it does. And what it is, you can get a better look at the sun with the eclipse blocking. You know, you want to see the area around the sun, not the sun itself.
Okay.
You can get a better look at it while the moon is blocking, so you can see all the flares and that coming off. So
Okay,
It
yeah.
was something
The
that
mo-
Einstein was interested in, and he actually funded an experiment before he died. And I can't remember the photographer's name, but he paid for this photographer to go to the path of totality, and required him as part of his job to take as many pictures as he could during the totality because of the theory that he was working on. But I don't know
yeah,
any
you
more.
know, scientists travel the world around every year, every 18 months, in order to be in the path of totality.
Mhm.
Hmm.
yeah, I think okay. Watch it during eclipses before it's something to do with measuring the atmosphere. Yeah, the moon is a much better filter than our digital ones. Much better.
Yeah.
Okay, and like element 115, anyone? Rare materials exist for fractions of seconds of the time CERN reactors, of the time inside CERN reactor. Yes, that's true. Element 115, anyone? And there has been another form of, okay, this is not PSYOP, but this is just sparks me up. Another form of ice, water.
Yes.
That is so cool. That is so cool. At supersonic speeds, water freezes different.
Really,
That is so cool.
That's
Yeah,
neat.
that
yeah,
is neat.
that's so cool.
That's an important discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does it do?
I
It
don't
just
know.
They
I
have to
can't
let us know
remember.
what they want us to know, I guess. Now,
Yeah.
everybody realizes that most of this stuff is fear oriented.
Mhm.
I would be
Mhm.
interested in knowing what the point is of angering or frightening this many people.
Well, when we're
We can speculate, but I don't know the answer.
when you're in fear, your cognitive abilities, it kind of shuts down the prefrontal cortex,
Thank you.
and so you know, shuts down your logic, your intuition, things
Your
like that.
immune system goes down.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of nasty things that happen when you're afraid. You can't think. You can't think properly. And what
Right.
aren't you supposed to be thinking about? I
Yeah.
think we all ought to be trying to find out what that thing is.
Yeah. So
Alrighty then. Well, we have blown past the 2-hour mark that I like to stay at. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for tonight. It's been a great show. We went all over the place and everything was related.
Renee,
Everything was related.
the eclipse that you're thinking of with Einstein, wasn't that the one in 1919, which occurred in Africa? In
To
fact,
the
I forget. Arthur Watson, Arthur Davison? No, Arthur Eddington. Sir Arthur Eddington took the picture.
thank you. Cool.
Okay.
I knew it was
Okay.
in there somewhere.
Before we take off, have a look at what Woo Writer wrote and what sort of thought you might have about it, because I think that's important to what we're talking about here.
Are you talking about fun fact?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring that up. Here's another fun fact. Satellites are made up of mostly titanium and Kevlar, yet titanium melts at a little over 3,000 degrees. Kevlar 900 degrees. The upper atmosphere is 5,000 degrees, so it makes no sense. Okay.
What makes no sense, Blue Rider?
All right. 5,000 degrees. I need more information because he is not okay. Throw me some links in social media.
I think
Post to my
you
Facebook wall.
misspoke maybe because
Maybe I
you
because
know
I'm like
I think that he wasn't real clear with the statement.
Well, I think
okay.
he's thinking of the thermosphere,
All right.
which is about 53 miles up.
Yes.
And a lot of the low Earth orbit satellites are below that. They're more like 20 some odd miles up.
Oh,
And
Joe,
then
you
we,
need to no, not 20 miles, not 20 miles. 60 miles is the roof of the well, let me see here. Let's see here.
okay,
SR-71 goes there or went
How
there.
can satellites
okay,
withstand the heat is the question.
Yeah.
they don't have to. Is the answer? They're some of them are below the heat, and
Okay.
most of them are above the heat.
All right. 85,000 feet is the roof for the SR-71. So that is suborbital. All right. That's still suborbital because it's an air breather. So 85,000 feet is suborbital.
So it wouldn't necessarily be subjected to those higher heats.
Right. And you've
I
got
see.
weather satellites that are, they don't have any problem with it.
What did you call it?
The thermosphere. And it is so thin that anything carrying heat is,
It is 56 miles. Wait a minute.
sounds
The
about right.
thermosphere, I'll just read. The thermosphere is a layer of Earth's atmosphere that is directly above the mesosphere and below the exosphere. It extends from about 56 miles to 311 to 621 miles.
Yeah, but it gets thinner as it goes up. So
Right.
that makes
And it's an atmosphere, so it moves. It changes shape. That's wind. And how high is the thermosphere from Earth? About 53 miles and 375 miles, give or take, any condition, right? While still extremely thin, the gases of the thermosphere become increasingly denser as one descends towards the Earth. Yeah. It is upper atmosphere. So that actually is a good question. Why don't those things melt when they go beyond the thermosphere,
Okay.
beyond the upper atmosphere?
because there's not enough matter carrying the heat to the satellites to melt them.
And that is a very good science answer. I like that. Thank you, Joe. Heat needs a medium to travel along. Let me see here. Right. Nerd said just that. You need molecules to transfer heat. There aren't enough molecules in the thermosphere to transfer the heat. Yeah, heat needs a medium. And okay, space shuttles would have to go through the heat. Yes, they have heat shielding. Very good heat shielding. Very, very good heat shielding.
And we've seen when that fails, how
Right.
catastrophic it is,
Right.
and
So
how
there needs to
immediate
be.
it is.
We need to figure out how to not have that happen. How do we, combat the physical with something else? But anyway, yeah. But you're right. Okay. Good questions. Good answers. And Tim wants us to remember local psyops want to chat with you now. And I will leave it at that, y'all. So
Yeah,
let's
right.
we're still way past the 2 hours I like to stay at, but we did good tonight. We did good.
Yeah.
Even my half hour, I think I did pretty good.
I
And
think
I
so.
didn't get
I
a
was
chance
there.
to present all that stuff. And all the social media is a big experiment. We're being pushed here, pushed there, And TikTok is an intelligence gathering and programming tool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
They all are.
Yeah, they all are. And just who's at the controls this week or today or this hour? 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Who's got the slot? Who paid the most money to control the people? It's almost like TV programming. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and push them buttons. This has been a great one, y'all. We kept it quantum all over the place and ran out
Really?
of coffee.
Once or twice.
Yeah.
And sorry
ran out
about
of
yelling
coffee.
at you people.
Hey, no, that was epic, Joe.
That was great.
Hell yeah, that's gonna be on like I'm gonna showcase that part.
Oh,
Be
make
like,
sure to that. That would be
yeah,
great.
I'm gonna cut that part out if I can figure out how to do that. Joe. All right, everybody, we are pushing buttons. Tim is escorting us out, pushing the buttons, kicking us out the door.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Thanks,
Thanks,
in
everybody.
the
Thank you
chat.
to my
It's a great
panel,
chat tonight.
Joe, Lynn, Raven. Thanks for coming on, and
Glad
let's
to.
work on them tech issues, Raven.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
work on them.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all take it easy. Keeping it quantum, pushing buttons.